Manchester United have a massive clear out underway with no big stars safe. We're going to dive into like the 13 or 14 players again reportedly up for sale. 100 million budget boost plus the money raised through sales, and if we sell efficiently there could be a lot to spend this summer. Marcus Rashford is up for sale, but Marcus Rashford has also spoken out about the amount that abuse he is getting online. We will talk about that among a number of stories on the manager, rumours, all of that sort of news. So please do hit the like button and of course subscribe down below if you're new. I do apologise for the poor lighting, but we're just filming in a different room today because it's a little bit hectic where I am at the moment. But let's start with the news on a huge clear out. It was said Varane and Martial will leave United as free agents this summer. Every reliable source, and not that I'd say Mark Ogden is a super reliable source, he's very like tier 2, but every reliable source and every semi-reliable source is basically saying Varane will go. It looks like Varane's not going to stay. Contract. I know he's on ridiculous wages, but you look at the whole centre-back scenario at the club is a bit of a mess. Martial will leave for obvious reasons. One, because he's never around, or two, because he hasn't been very good the last 3 seasons. Continuing on, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Maguire all out of contract in 2025 and could leave Man United this summer for suitable offers unless they're prepared to sign new contracts on reduced terms. Personally, I'd look to offload all of these players because, again, 1 year left on their contract after that, and this is the only time we can get fees. If I had to keep one, I'd keep Maguire as a third centre-back because I think he can do a job. Wan-Bissaka's not impressed me a lot. McTominay is a great option off the bench, but he's not good enough to start, and we know that, and this is probably the last chance we're actually going to be able to cash in on McTominay, which is pure FFP profit. Like, if you sell Maguire, there's a loss. If you sell Lindelof, I mean, technically a loss, but McTominay is pure FFP profit, which is probably what we need to enhance our spending power as well. So those players could be off. It was also said Eriksen is attracting interest from Turkey and will be allowed to leave Man United for a fee with 1 year left on his contract. I mean, I'd let Eriksen go for a very, very cheap fee. He's not going to be much use next season. I know he was all right our last game, but his legs are just gone. I personally would let him go for quite low. We need to get him off the wage bill and replace him with some fresh legs. It was also said by Mark Ogden that Marcus Rashford's future is in doubt, but having signed a 300k a week 5-year contract last summer, the England forward is generating little interest. Sources said that speculating linking Rashford with PSG is wide of the mark. So Man United, we know, are open to sell Rashford this summer for the right price. But they don't have much interest in Rashford from other clubs because of his 300k a week contract. Form's been a bit off it this season. Now, I think there will be clubs that maybe would look at a 60-70 million deal for Marcus Rashford, but I don't think United would sell unless they got 100 million for Rashford. I don't know if that's going to happen with his high wages, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Arsenal sniff around that deal because I do generally think that Marcus Rashford would be really, really good at Arsenal, but I don't know. But PSG have always rumoured to be linked to him, but I think PSG want to get over that sort of period of spending, 100+ million on players. Now, our next story brings us to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford replied to this tweet saying, "The way Marcus Rashford is being treated is absolutely disgusting. It's cruel. It's abuse." Rashford replied to this tweet saying, "I appreciate your support. It is the abuse and has been for months. Enough is enough." And I'm going to be honest. I think fair criticism of Rashford's performance, frustration with him because of what happened at Belfast is absolutely fine. But he is abused by a small portion of fans online that take it too far. Like, I do think that Marcus Rashford is becoming the new Maguire, where he just gets blamed. A lot of times where Marcus Rashford has had a good performance and actually been one of Man United's better players, but we've dropped points, and then all the comments will be, "Oh, Rashford out, Rashford disgrace, Rashford useless," and it's like, wait, Rashford had a good game when these 5 players had a bad game, but everyone's going on Rashford, and I will defend Rashford because I do think he gets a lot of abuse. However, I do think there's also a lot of fair criticism of Rashford. And the one thing I will say is Maguire and Pogba got this and they didn't go out doing statements on social media and stuff. And this is the second time Rashford's put stuff out on social media. And sometimes, you're just almost, it's horrible as the abuse that Rashford is getting. Sometimes you do have to just ignore it and do your talking on the pitch. And this is just now the second or third time he's come out doing this and doing that. But I will admit it goes too far with Rashford. This is why I've done so many live streams defending it. And you guys always say, "Why do you defend Rashford? Why do you defend Rashford?" Because I will criticise his performances. I will criticise the Belfast incident. I thought that was a disgrace. And I know he's on 300k a week. And I expect better from Marcus Rashford. But I will judge every player with what I feel is fair criticism. Anthony will put in a 2 out of 10 performance. Rashford will put in a 6 out of 10 performance. Everyone will be blaming Rashford. Every time we drop points, it's Rashford who gets the blame. And sometimes, yeah, Rashford hasn't been good enough. Rashford doesn't track back. But Marcus Rashford has become the new Maguire, new scapegoat in this fan base, where criticism has now turned into abuse and hate agendas. There's fair criticism, performance wasn't good, but you see when he has okay games and better games than other players, whenever we drop points, Rashford's fault, get Rashford out. And it's more the fact that when you see a tweet criticising Rashford, like there was this tweet of Rashford being a grim reaper going on Ollie's door and then Ragnick's door and all of that, even though he's probably the best goal scorer under Ollie and then he's Ten Hag's best goal scorer, Ten Hag's door, sacking another manager. Now we're getting like 10 million leaks and stuff. And it's like, Marcus Rashford is the academy guy. Marcus Rashford is the guy on 300k a week that we expect more from. But Marcus Rashford has been player of the season 3 out of the last 5 years, which is maybe why we have high expectations for him. And he's not been good enough this season. And the Belfast incident was a disgrace. And I understand any criticism of Marcus Rashford, and a lot of the criticism is fair. But unfortunately, there are people that just have these hate agendas against Rashford that put out these nasty tweets that will blame Rashford for everything or think that, okay, all our problems will be fixed if we sell Rashford, like when we sold Ronaldo and De Gea and Fred, who were the problem. And it's like, you've got to realise it. Are you criticising Rashford because he's had a bad game, or are you just putting all the hate because we drop points on Rashford because of a Rashford agenda? And I think that's what some people are falling into at the moment. So I do actually understand where Rashford is coming on here. I mean, there is criticism and a lot of it is fair, but there also is a lot of abuse that is unfair. And you've got to know the line between criticising a performance and hate abuse and an agenda, which he does get. Continuing on into the transfer news, Mark Ogden says a net spend of 100 million is likely to be in the transfer market this summer. Now, I'm not worried about this story because when they say we have 100 million to spend, that normally means we have 150 million to 200 million to spend net as well. Net, if we make 100 million in sales, which we easily can, we can make up to 150 million in sales. And we probably have 150 million net budget. We could spend 300 million this summer if we sell efficiently. I'm certain of it. Do I think we will? Probably not, because I don't know if we're going to sell efficiently. I back INEOS, I back the INEOS project, and I think that I like what they're bringing in and stuff, and I'm going to be patient with INEOS and assume they're the right people to do this. But it is Manchester United, it's not FIFA. Now, who would Man United be looking to sign this summer? Well, we've been linked to Todibo, Braithwaite, Elise, Anana, a number of names. We've also been linked to a lot of talented young players over in South America. The latest is Palmeiras wonder kid Luis Guilherme. We've also been linked to other players like not Endrick, but Talis, loads of guys from that club as well. Man United clearly want to find the next Endrick. One thing we do know, Fabrizio Romano confirmed, is we will look to sign left back this summer, but we don't want to spend more than 25 million. Obviously, Girona left back Miguel has been good, but can we get 25 million for him? Is he going to be 25 million or a bit more? That's the big question, especially with competition. Lots of teams are looking at him. Arsenal, West Ham, Arsenal obviously in need of a left-back as well. I think left-back will be interesting because we don't really know who that is. We kind of know the centre-back, midfield and attacking targets are, but we don't really know who the left-back targets are. So that'll be interesting to see how it develops. Let's continue on into the manager news. Now, it was said that Erik ten Hag, Graham Potter and OG Ineos Francesco Ferrari make up a 3-man shortlist to become the next Ajax manager. Ten Hag makes up the 3-man manager shortlist for the next Ajax manager. Now, that is interesting. Do Ajax think that he's going to be sacked? Do Ajax know something we don't? Or have Ajax got him there in case he is sacked, but they're probably going to go for Graham Potter or the Nice manager? It looks like Graham Potter's set to be the next Nice manager, but I do think there are a few clubs watching Erik ten Hag to see what happens, because obviously there's been no confirmation on Ten Hag's future. However, Ten Hag could stay. Xavi was set to leave Barcelona. It was felt that he was going to leave. He's now staying at Barcelona, and it was said that Man United followed this with special attention to what happened yesterday in Barcelona, and they were interested in bringing Xavi in. They saw a young coach, a legend known throughout the world with broad shoulders, having led Barca and the capacity to take on a major project. I don't think Xavi would have been the best fit for United, but what I do think is interesting is Bayern now want Thomas Tuchel to stay. Xavi's now staying at Barcelona reportedly. You know, a lot of the managers available, actually, a lot of top teams aren't going for. You know, there's Amorim and Alonso, but Alonso's staying. No one really knows what's going on with Amorim. All the other managers about, no one's fully convinced on this manager. Now, will INEOS do the same? Because De Zerbi will maybe cost 20 million to bring in. Is De Zerbi really better than Ten Hag? Maybe tactically, but actually, is he? We don't know that. He's only been at Brighton. You know, Gareth Southgate isn't better than Ten Hag. Gary O'Neill isn't better than Ten Hag. So, you know, Thomas Tuchel, you can argue, is better than Ten Hag, but is he modern enough? Is he the kind of manager INEOS want to work with? you know, there is a possibility that Ten Hag stays, but also if Ten Hag does go, I think there will be a lot of clubs lining up for him because there is a good manager there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.